And we're back.
Hey, welcome to Women Conquer Business. I'm Jen McFarland, joined by Shelly Carney. And this week we are talking about spring cleaning your small business in 4 easy steps. And if you are a longtime listener of this show, you will know that there was an episode in the Wayback Machine of spring clean your business and avoid project fatigue. And that one was more about how to manage all of the projects that you have going on in your business and kind of picking and choosing and tidying up around that. This one is more about looking at some different things within your business to help you kind of clear the clutter so that you can be cleaning your business just like you probably are going around maybe with a feather duster or something like that right now and cleaning up your house. So we want to clean the business house. So hi Shelly, welcome.
Hey,
How you
Jen.
doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This week I did 2 podcast interviews. So
Woohoo!
I get to talk about what's going on in my business, in my life, and um, what else is going on. My mom is improving. She's still in the hospital, but she's getting better. And they're starting physical therapy with her this week. So that's going on. My husband is halfway through his cancer treatment, so that's going well.
Yay.
We have all kinds of medical issues in our lives right now. Yesterday on our show, Toby and I talked about our new feature coming up. We're going to do Saturday night conversations, and it's going to be an open conversation where people can show up and just talk about whatever in the chat room with us. And Toby and I will be having a conversation to spark more conversations. So we're looking forward to starting that tomorrow. Saturday night. It's only Thursday. It's not
It's only
Friday
Thursday.
yet.
Yeah. That's excellent, and I think that we should acknowledge that we weren't on last week, and
That's
that was for multiple reasons. I am also having some health issues, and the concussion has turned into a bigger deal than I thought. Like and that's the thing. It's so important when you have a small business to take care of yourself. I can honestly say that my roller skating career is now over. It
yeah.
was never an Olympic endeavor, so it's not like like I was a pro,
Mm,
but it has made it very difficult for me to work with clients, and having the ring light on, and video and things like that. It's been a challenge. So I also didn't feel up to it. Shelly had a lot of stuff going on, and so we took a break. And I want to just acknowledge that we did that, and
mhm.
we're back, and also that for you who are out there watching or listening, it's okay to take those breaks when you're not feeling super great.
That's right.
And of course, in typical Jen style, because it's like, I have to do all of the things. I do have an updated website, and I'm very excited about it. I'm still putting on a lot of the finishing touches on it. It's not really like an official launch of the new website, but I kind of, I'm excited because I was telling Shelly before the show, I feel like it finally kind of puts all of this content I've been creating for the last 5 years in a place where it's a little bit easier to navigate, and it's easier to find out about me. It's got a little bit more information. It's got kind of more of my personality in it with things like some of the different emojis and stuff like that. And so you can go there. It is lightning fast, and it really shows off, I think, the podcast episodes a lot better. So if you go to womenconquerbiz.com, I also included some of my favorite tools. People are always asking me what software I use. So
Yeah.
there's just a lot in there, and I'm hoping it's easier for people who find it or who have enjoyed reading the content in the past for you to engage with it. So very excited about that. The other thing that I'm really excited about that probably nobody else is is that today is opening day. It is Major League Baseball opening day. I am a huge baseball fan. When I lived in Arizona, my husband and I would go to spring training games. We went to all kinds of Arizona Diamondbacks games. I'm a lifelong Mariners fan, which means I have suffered and never seen them even go to the World Series in their entire existence. And I'm excited. Tomorrow we're having our baseball party with our friends Ann and Robert, which is really awesome. So happy New Year to all of you baseball fans out there. This is the day I this is the day I celebrate because the Mariners are in first place. My husband celebrates because the Orioles are in first place, and typically this is the only day they're in first place for the rest of the year.
Everybody's in first.
Everybody's in first place.
Yeah.
And that's because there have been no games yet. So, so breaking news, what you got, Shelly?
Breaking news. Well, you know what? Toby changed the board on here, so I don't have my breaking news noise.
I don't have any music. It's fine. We're
So,
lucky to be here today. So let's,
yeah. I gave you the DJ air horn, and that was as much as I could get.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Ta-da! We have a new book out this week called Livecast.Life, the content creator lifestyle that Toby and I put together. And you can see me and Toby on the cover. And there's Toby now.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. The change to my music on this site. So this came out on Amazon this week. It's say 18 chapters about how to live stream, podcast, and blog at the same time every week, and then get your content out in among the world, and doing it in a way that is streamlined, simple, and scheduled, so that you can continue to do it every week. You feel motivated, you keep consistent with it. This is available on Amazon, and you can go to book.livecast.life and find it very simply and easily. And if you would like to get this book for free, we do offer it on Kindle Unlimited for free read, or on this Sunday and Monday, the 10th and 11th, I think that is, this weekend, on Sunday and Monday, you can get it for free as a Kindle download. Please do go ahead and grab that for free as our gift to you. And if you do so, please leave us a review on Amazon and let us know what you thought about it.
That's awesome. And, again, this is so amazing to me how you do video series on YouTube and then shortly create a book then to put on Amazon. I think that this is just a wonderful thing. And to tail onto that, because we both create content to sell in different ways, I created a course, as I've talked about before. And now what I did with that course is I took the audio from it, and it's an audiobook that will be live shortly. And that's kind of a neat thing. I used a software called Publish Drive, which, if you've never heard of that, is software that you can use for getting your Amazon books up, but you can also use it for audiobooks as well. So using my nifty little podcasting skills, I was able to separate things out into chapters, upload the chapters into Publish Drive, and then they are doing all the coordination with all of the book companies, and that should be coming out soon. But they say it could be like a 3-week wait. So we're in like week 2 or 3 now. So who knows? Who knows when it'll come out? But it's very exciting. It's kind of a cool thing now that all of us can do those things just like the big guys. And I think that that's what's so great about you creating books and publishing them, and then being able to like make audiobooks and things.
There's no gatekeeper. You can do it.
Yeah.
Whenever
Absolutely.
you're ready to do it, you just do it. It's awesome.
That's right. So what else is going on? It looks here like there's something going on LinkedIn.
Oh, let's see. LinkedIn is building new analytics. Oops, where's my cart?
Analytics and video features for creators.
And increasing the visibility of their content. Now, this is an article that let me share. So LinkedIn is building new analytics and video features for creators. Basically, they have updated and upgraded the, how you could put a little video where your profile picture is, and that wasn't working very well. Well, apparently they've updated it, made it easier for people to use, and it works better now. So we'll give that another try. They're giving us more analytics about who's reading and engaging with our content. I'm loving the LinkedIn newsletter because it sends it out to people, and they get an email about it, and I can share it in groups. And every week my subscriber base, goes up just a little bit more on that newsletter because of the visibility I'm getting there. So I recommend using LinkedIn. If you haven't used it in a while or haven't used it at all, or haven't really done content on LinkedIn, sharing your content, then really try that out because it's going to help you, reach new people that you haven't reached before.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing so by, these new creator tools, if you're not using creator mode on LinkedIn and you are a creator, I highly suggest that you turn on creator mode in LinkedIn. The main difference that you will see immediately is instead of having a like connection request button, it turns into follow. So people can follow you.
That's right.
But it also changes some of the ways that content is presented on your uh, I guess your homepage in LinkedIn, your profile page. And that is a pretty exciting thing. It makes it a little bit easier for people to engage with you in that way. One of the people that I follow on LinkedIn who is a pretty great resource, who is just an expert, and he's helped me out with my LinkedIn, is his name is Andy Foote, uh, and his last name is spelled Foote, and he's a real
Mhm.
thought leader on LinkedIn, and he's always talking about things like creator mode and how to extend the use and how to use LinkedIn right. Like there are a lot of people who are saying, "Oh, go and have a pod," and that's like one of the worst things you can do. And a pod means you and a group of people, and
Mhm.
it's usually a large group of people, go in on like boosting each other's content in a very artificial way. It's one thing if you see a story that somebody has written and you share it. It's another thing when it's like this coordinated attack of like boosting each other's stuff. It's one of the quickest ways to get not so much banned, but like penalized on LinkedIn and
Mm.
things that are happening out in that community that LinkedIn is aware of. And then Andy talks a lot too about some of the other features out there. So I'll have to check and see if he's talked about this because this is pretty exciting. And what is this? LinkedIn debuts its own podcast network?
Right. So this is something that is, you've heard of networks for podcasts. Basically,
Sure.
you belong to a group of podcasters who is sponsored by a particular corporation like LinkedIn. And they have
Sure.
started doing this with some bigger named, bigger people like the Startup of You, Hello Monday, and
Mhm.
other things that are going on. And that's just a little thing that they're getting started with and they're building out. So just something to be aware of.
I think that's fantastic. We're seeing it. You can upload your podcast now into Facebook and all of these different social media platforms. I haven't done that with Facebook. I do. It is just interesting to me that how big podcasting has become. Like even
Yeah.
when I started back in 2018, it just wasn't what it is today. It's just been this huge explosion. And my big concern with it is what does that mean for indie podcasters like us? I think it means it's harder and harder to get like a foothold. But because so many different areas, the gatekeepers are gone, you don't know if that's really the case or not. There's been a lot of people who are saying that it's harder to get a foothold, but the average podcast still only lasts like 7 episodes because of pod fade. People don't realize how hard it actually is to get a show out, no matter how easy we say it is. It's
Mhm.
a lack of planning, I think, that
Right.
really
Not
gets
having a
people
system. Right.
not having the system. And so I think all these tools are exciting and who knows, LinkedIn sometimes surprises me where it seems like they're totally corporate and then they send out tools that are not corporate at all. And I love seeing all these platforms becoming more creator focused.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And I think LinkedIn
They're
is more
even beta
positioned.
testing a creator fund on LinkedIn.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to become more engaged. I actually was accepted into a program with Facebook, a business leaders program that's put out by, I guess it's Meta now, but I was interviewed by people from Facebook and
Mm,
vetted, and I'm a part of this group, and I need to engage with it more because it would make me
yeah.
more of an expert in Facebook. But I personally
It's
don't.
hard to be that because it changes so
It
often.
changes so much, and it's actually for small business owners to really help them
Mhm.
understand how to use the tools better, and I need to do that. I haven't really been engaging on Facebook much. I feel like more of my people are on LinkedIn. But I could speak to things, on this show and stuff a little bit more if I would become a little more engaged with it. So it's interesting. I'm excited. I'm very excited with a lot of things going on with LinkedIn. And I feel like this evolution, LinkedIn is better positioned. We've talked about Amazon before and their creator tools. I feel like LinkedIn is better positioned for it, mostly because it's more concentrated in one area. And as we've talked about, Amazon's more spread out.
Yeah.
It's spread thin. It's really hard to be
Mhm.
everything to everybody. So, um, do we have anything else? So you've really taken the lead on things like breaking news and tweaks of the week because I've been
Well,
not
we had
working
some
much.
things this
So
time. When you have
what?
things, you put it in there. When you don't, you don't.
Yes, that's right. So are we ready to get into the spring cleaning? I'm a little excited.
Yay, we got our new
Powering up. See, and I even brought my feather duster.
I see
I'm
that.
very
You're not wearing
excited.
your French maid well, let's tell the podcast listeners, she's even wearing a French maid costume.
I am not wearing a French maid costume. Although that is interesting. We could put something in the show notes. When I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Kazakhstan, and there would be like special days like International Women's Day or holidays or graduation, the the girls and young women in the school would dress in what I thought looked like French chambermaid costumes, but it's the traditional dress from when they dress up to school. And when you said that, I immediately went to like to Lomonosova school in Turgan, Kazakhstan, and thought about all these adorable kids running around in their French chambermaid costumes. So anyway, uh, sidebar. Jen just went back to Peace Corps. Cool. So I am not wearing a costume like that. I did bring a
They
feather
don't know
duster.
that, they can only hear, so, "Ooh la la."
Ooh la la. Yeah. So
Next time, tune in and see if she really did wear
next time,
it.
yes. No, I won't be
So,
wearing that.
we're
But
gonna
you
talk
could tune
about
in and watch us and ask us live questions.
yeah, and
Ta-da!
contribute to the conversation. Today, we're gonna talk about 4 key areas you need to clean up to make your business shine. I like that. So, what is the first thing you have here? Take a look at your website. We just looked
I
at your website, and it was beauty.
we don't have to look at my website, but as a business owner, one of the first things that you could be working on if you clean out your closet, you clean out your kitchen, you can clean up your website. And it doesn't mean that you personally have to do the editing, but a lot of times people kind of set and forget the website. Unless
Mhm.
you're a creator, you really just let it
I'm
go.
raising my hand, I do that. Yeah.
You set and forget. And
Mhm.
and one of the things that I've found in a lot of the presentations and the research and working with clients that I do is m because so many people are looking for you online as this versus pre-pandemic, people are really relying on that information being accurate. And if, for example, you have a phone number and it's old, or your address is old, or the services you offer are not correct, people just bail. They're not going to keep trying to figure it out. If your hours are wrong on, your Google business profile, they're they're not going to engage with you. They don't like it's not worthwhile for them.
You
So it's
messed up your
really
chance at that first impression.
yeah, you've lost that potential customer. So it's really a good time. This is one of the low hanging fruit, if you will, that you can like go through, read your website and look at it and say, man, this is accurate. This is great. I think people should do it more than once a year, but hey, once a year, if you haven't done it, take a look. Is it
Reminder.
accurate? And if you can, look at it through your potential customer's eyes. And this is a little hard sometimes because we get really close to the content and things like that. I know that with my website, I sent it to Shelly and she was like, you've got like an error here. And I was like, "What?"
It comes
And
out
it's
of it.
because, it was just a little typographical thing, but it's like I'm so close to it, I can't even see it anymore. So I
Mhm.
was like, "Keep it coming. Just keep telling me what's going on?" So if it's possible for you to look at it through your customer's eyes, look at it and say, "Is it easy to navigate? Is it easy for people to find what I do? Is it easy for people to understand why they should engage with me or how? And those are some of the things that you can be doing. And then you just kind of make little tweaks. This isn't a big overhaul or anything. This is just, oh, I could make this a little bit easier. And that's the first thing I think that you can do to make your business shine a little bit more.
Yeah, and I did that today, in fact, because I was on the podcast interview this morning at 7 a.m.
Oh,
and
wow.
I told them about the book, and I sent them to the website agkmedia.studio, and I was like, "This book better be on there." So I made sure to add it in and a couple of different pages, and links and buttons to push to get there. So yeah, you definitely, whenever you're doing something new in your business, you put out a book or you started a new show or something's happening, definitely immediately go and get that onto your website so that people will know about it.
Absolutely, and again, this is something relatively simple, probably just a few things that you might find if you look at your website, you might be like, "Oh, okay, I just need to change a handful of things, and and then I can move on to the next thing."
Mhm.
But yes, make sure that everything is accurate that's up there and your products are up there. I do the same thing. I forget, and I talk about something, and then I'm hustling after the podcast interview to
Yeah.
make sure it's on
Well,
there.
that's another good reason to do things like that. It reminds you, oh, I better get my website straightened out because I just gave that link out, or I better make sure that this is correct because I just gave that link, or I'm going to give that link out at the next
Yeah,
interview.
is
So
it gonna
yeah,
work?
that's right.
Absolutely. So then the second thing, this goes a little bit deeper under the hood, but I think that this is really important, and it takes me back to an interview I did with Tim McCain. It's one of the first interviews I did on the show, is you need to review your business goals. And the reason is if you're not touching base with your business goals and saying like how are we doing, like we just finished the first quarter of the year, if you
Mhm.
keep track of that, like we're at the beginning of the second quarter now. Well, what were your first quarter goals? How are you looking toward that? How are you tracking? Are you getting close to that? Do you need to adjust your goals? And I remember what he said on that show, which was that they had set a goal of $1 million in revenue, and they hit it, and they never adjusted the goal, so they never really got beyond the $1 million revenue until they went back and they looked and they were like, "Well, we can do better than this. We've already proven that we can meet that goal." But because they hadn't been consistently reviewing it, they weren't really stretching themselves into doing it, doing more and how they can improve even more. And then they said that once they adjusted for that, then they were able to achieve more. So one of the reasons that you look at those goals is you can be like, "Whoa, I am way off from my goals," or "I have exceeded those goals." In either case, you need to kind of adjust what your thinking is and what it is that you're working on.
Tracking and adjusting.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
do that?
It's not a sit down and look at it and check numbers as much as it is, um, Toby and I said, we'll have a talk. Is this working for us? Are okay, we had some bad news last week. We lost a client. He
Mm,
passed
mhm.
away.
Yeah.
So we're like, are we going to keep on this track? And if so, we need to get some new clients. And what are we going to do to make that happen? And so when things happen that like, hey, wake up, is this still a viable goal? What do we need to be doing to get back on track with this? So we
Yeah.
don't have a set time when we do it, but when stuff happens and we take another look at what are we doing, what should we be doing?
Yeah. I totally understand. I do the same thing with Gail for Epiphany courses, and then I need to update it. It still has my Q1 goals, of which I did some, and then some were really outlandish, and I'm realizing, like, that I need to adjust. I need to scale back to be a little more reasonable on some of my goals. And then the part about it, the reason that you do the goal review, even if it is a high level feeling into it, or you're touching base with your co-founders or other people or even your customers, The reason that you really review those business goals really goes into step number 3, which is, you know, are your marketing strategies aligned with those goals? So if you go and you adjust your business goals, then the next thing you need to adjust is your marketing and your budget and, anything else that's related to those goals. But this is a marketing show, so we're going to talk about marketing. You don't want me talking about budgets. That's not my lane. But I will say that when you shift your goals, then you're probably shifting what it is that you're doing to achieve them. You may have some new initiatives, some new projects. You may have some things that's going on that you may be shifting. You may be changing some things. So have you also adjusted your marketing strategies to fit your goals? It's a good time to go, okay, so what is working with my marketing? Am I
Mhm.
getting out to the people that I want to? Are they responding? Has my marketing been effective? What parts of my marketing were helping me achieve my goals? What parts are kind of meh, then it's not really doing as much as I had hoped? And how can we adjust that? Are my marketing campaigns effective? And that's actually, we haven't mentioned that yet. That's really what we're going to be talking about for the balance of the month, are marketing campaigns and how to get your marketing campaigns going, and getting started with that.
Mhm.
So, if you have a smattering of things that you're doing, I like to call it a lot of people call it spray and pray. Other people, I like to call it throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Mhm.
If that's your strategy right now, it's a good time to kind of circle the wagons a little bit and be a little bit more strategic and use tactics that are really, think of your marketing as a support system for your goals. Like, how is it helping you in a direct way achieve those goals, especially since you've adjusted based on your spring cleaning?
That's right. Well, what Toby and I did is we've been interviewing digital marketing experts, as you know, because
Mhm.
you're one of them, and we took quotes from the 6 people we have spoken with thus far, and kind of found a theme that they were telling us, and we decided the theme was having authentic conversations within your content to attract audience and to make them feel like they belong, give them some ownership of what your content is all about,
Mhm.
and just have them be becoming a part of your community. So we discussed that, and then from there we decided, okay, we need to start doing more conversations where we're just having it more open, where we're giving people a chance to give us feedback and to talk about what they want to talk about instead of just listening to us give presentations. So we decided to do a Saturday night show based on that. And so I think we did do what you're suggesting here. We looked at our marketing strategies. We said, how could we make it better? And we
Yeah.
took the advice of those experts we've been speaking with and said, okay, how can we take their advice and, put it within our business model? And how can we use that to make those connections happen?
I think that's great. And I love this concept. I need to check my newsletter again and see what time that is on Saturday and see if I can get in there and
Well, that'll
ask some
be 6
questions.
p.m. Pacific.
6 p.m. Pacific?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing. It is, community is important and it's a big part of it. So I'm not surprised that that's a theme or a thread that kind of
Hmm.
came through. And I like it because it's a lot more authentic. One of the other things that is a big trend right now is the influencer marketing stuff, and I'm listening to this book right now called Hype,
Hmm.
and it's a lot about influencer marketing, but it's about, like, the scams that kind of come out of it, and kind of that bro marketing, and it's not as authentic. A lot of people can use things like influencer marketing to really promote something that isn't real, but you can't fake community.
Right.
That's the thing. You can't fake community. You can't fake the questions and answers and that interaction that you get from people. And that's what makes it so much more effective, is reaching out to people and saying, "Hey, like, how can I help you?" and do the live Q&A.
That's right. That's right. And you do it within the parameters of your own business model, so that you do what works best for you. And like I said, we're doing this conversations because that's what's going to work within our business model. But you can do a back and forth in any way that you can. You want to do, send out an email and please write back, and whatever it is that you can do to get that feedback from people, so if you're way off base, or if you're speaking to the heart of the matter or not.
Absolutely. And in the marketing model that I use to go through with my clients, feedback is actually a big part of it. People, most of the time, people look for reviews and testimonials. Well, you're asking
Mhm.
the people who are already happy. Like most of the time, if you have a client that is not happy with you, you're not going to be like, oh, hey, can I get a review?
That's
Like,
right.
that's not who you're asking, and that's why it's much more effective, say, on your website to have those reviews sprinkled throughout your website than to just have a review page, because everybody knows that's a praise page. Like it's
Mhm,
just people are just saying great stuff about you.
mhm.
But what makes marketing much more authentic and more real is when you have feedback. So you're getting feedback from people that may not be your all-star clients. Maybe it went well, but it wasn't like the best. But
Mhm.
they can give you honest feedback. And a lot of small business owners, a lot of people I talk to are fearful of that. And I'm like, but that's how you improve.
That's
So
right.
anything that you can do to not just get the praise, but get the feedback about what could be better. And then you take that and you integrate it into your business processes, then that is a marketing improvement. And people don't necessarily look at that as part of their marketing, but it is for some businesses that can be like the linchpin toward something greater if you're willing to take that risk and get feedback from people.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're interested in all of our thoughts on that, you can watch our show that we did yesterday on messages and methods, or listen to the podcast. I found it very interesting, but then I created the presentation. So but it gets into the whole content marketing and Content Inc. and that model of build an audience first and then listen to what they want and then give them that. So
Yeah.
it's really good.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. So we talked about Content Inc. This was an off-air conversation that we had that because Shelly's been reading it, and then I went and found Content Inc. And I think I have a newer edition than you. I got
Mhm,
the second edition,
mhm.
and I've been reading it, and it's fascinating. It's a really great
Yeah,
read. So we'll have to put a copy of that in the show notes so that if you're interested in reading and learning more about that Content Inc. and then also look at how Shelley is applying it. That is a fascinating thing, and I love the idea of creating the audience and then selling the products. I think that it's a great thing, and I wanna get all of your insights on that. So I'll go back and listen to the show. I haven't been, um I haven't been as with it because of this concussion. It's making me a little bit goofy.
well, yeah,
So, um
you're doing good.
but, what else did you get from that book? It's just a quick
Um,
sidebar.
I think that was the most important thing, was that whole concept of first you build an audience.
Mhm.
And then you come up with a product, and that was like, to me, it was like, "Oh, interesting." Now that is kind of what we do, and especially as a media company, but what
Yeah.
you also wanna do is you want to be the leading authority in your niche industry, so that
Mhm.
people are going to come to you whenever they think about, for instance, if they are like, "I wanna start live streaming and podcasting and blogging all at the same time every week. Who's gonna talk to me about that?" Me. I do that. I don't know
Right.
anybody else who does that, in fact. So I have a where niche industry where I am the, premier, uh, thought leader. So come to me. And as I grow that audience, then they can tell me, here's what I need to buy from you. I want this book. I want this course. I want this, and then I can start producing exactly what they need.
Absolutely, and I think that the other thing that you'll likely learn, because it happens to me, because I'm on the technical side too. One of the great things about feedback and growing that audience first is that they will tell you, like, "You say that this is super easy, but I don't think that this part is super easy. So I think that it's also an opportunity when you open yourself up to these like Q&As that you're getting that like, you're technical and I'm not, and this is easy and it's not, and that's how we can adjust to and get better. And that's the beauty of growing the audience first
Yeah.
is that you're learning as you go, like kind of what obstacles people have. And then you take that. And then because you're the expert, it's relatively easy for you to take that building block that you get and just go, oh, okay, I'm going to add this because what I've been hearing is that it's not X, it's actually X plus Y. And
Yeah.
that's what my people need in order to really get ahead.
Mhm.
And that's what's so great about it because oftentimes I think and it's the old way, right, of doing things that you make a product
Mhm.
and you sell that, and
Mhm.
then you find out nobody needs that. And you've wasted a lot of time and
Unless you're
energy.
Apple and then you just convince everybody they need it.
Yeah, but see, they have a lot more money than we do. So
Well,
it's
that's
a
true.
lot different, you know? So I love this. I think that this is great. And
Yeah.
that's actually something that you can do to spring clean your business as part of the marketing strategy is to look at, how you can like bring in things and tidy some of that up. Are they in alignment? Are you creating content that really speaks to your people? Because sometimes that's where that disconnect is. Sometimes that disconnect is that you haven't been getting the feedback from people or they're telling you and you're not listening to like what it is that's happening. And because the marketing is one of the ways that you like boost people into that conversion place, where they're buying, that's one of the reasons why it's really important that you make sure that your marketing strategies are in alignment. And a lot of times, we do a lot with content, both you and I. That's
Mhm.
really what we do. So we tend to lean toward the content side. But this could be if you rely heavily on social media or you rely on, some of the different areas, the different dimensions of marketing, you may need to be making some tweaks.
That's
So
right. You might wanna think about, am I, utilizing my referral, network at all? It or effectively, and that's something that we have that's there that we sometimes forget to use.
yeah, I mean, I think that my thing about that is, I was meeting with a client a few days ago and they were already going into like Facebook groups and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, hey, like, let's get your word of mouth and referrals. Let's get that flywheel going.
Mhm.
Before we start like worrying about a lot of people we don't know, let's work on the people that we do know and build community and content and everything around that. I mean, I think that that's a really big part of um, the business growth model is like how do you bring other people that you already know into the discussion to really help you out.
That's right. Because if I look at who our clients have been, and they have been people that we already knew and had worked with in the past in other areas of our lives, and then they decided to work with us because they already have that know like trust factor with us.
Right.
So it's that much easier just to add them on in a new, in a new capacity in a new business model. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, it looks like somebody. How neat. Yeah.
we
Great
have
discussion on content
Sunita
marketing. Thank
Ross.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you so
Great
much.
discussion. Yay! Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
So, are we ready to move on to number 4? The number
Yes.
4 way? Okay. So, the last way that you can be spring cleaning your business, okay. So, let's be honest. Let's take a pause. My guess is if I were to wager a guess, Shelly, your inbox is pristine. Is that right?
No.
I think we know the
Are we
answer.
talking are we talking email inbox?
Email inbox.
Um, I did go through and unsubscribe from a lot of things, this last weekend,
Yeah.
so that, of course, helps. If I find myself going through and just mass deleting stuff, it's like, "Okay, it's time to go through and unsubscribe from things that I'm no longer interested in."
Right.
I also told myself, "I have way too much going on in my life this month to sign up for any more free webinars or courses or anything else like that." So
Right.
I immediately delete that stuff too, and don't even look at that. And And so, yeah, I think it's a honing process. It's like, okay, what do I need to get rid of? Because we collect clutter in our inboxes, and so I've been working on it, but it's not quite there yet.
Wow, that surprises me. I thought you'd be one of those zero inbox people. So, if you are a zero inbox person, I know my friend Elizabeth Case is a zero inbox person. This is not for you. But if you are the probably the majority of people have inboxes get a little out of control, this is a good time to really take a look at your inbox and see if there's some easier ways of managing it. Um, I think I've talked about it on the show before that I'm not a huge I love I don't really like email that much. It's a necessary evil as part of a business owner. I use both Maelstrom and SaneBox. I use them for different reasons. SaneBox has gotten me into some trouble because it's a filtering system, but sometimes people get filtered, and it's typically business owners who use their personal business email. So, like, um, you know, it'd be like Jen at
Mhm,
womenconquerbiz.com. Like, if that's what my daily email was, then if I use that as my email marketing that goes out from Active Campaign, then when people email me, SameBox will assume that it's email marketing and it puts it in there. So I don't have to worry about unsubscribing and stuff because all of the email newsletters end up in a place. SameBox does that where it's like, um, it knows if it's email marketing, it knows if it's something that is later. So it kind of seems to know if it's like product updates. I subscribe to a lot of stuff that a lot of software product updates and that. So SaneBox does a lot to save me time in terms of kind of filtering things into different places. And like I said, though, sometimes it's you have to train it so that it won't auto filter everything. And so that's SaneBox. The other
mhm.
one that I use that I absolutely love is called Maelstrom. Now, Maelstrom, I think I could probably get to do some of the things that SaneBox does. I use Maelstrom to just mass delete and clean up things. So I have a Gmail account that is not a work account, and I use Maelstrom to really go through and delete a lot of stuff and clean out the inbox quickly. But if you are, and there are all different kinds of programs out there. I think one of them is called Superhuman. There are a few other inbox zero things that you can do. You know, take a look at your email situation and if it's stressing you out, if you are like my aunt, who I don't think is listening to the show, and you have like 40,000 emails that you haven't read. Like, I looked at her phone, her iPhone, and I was like, is this for real? Like, just seeing that many emails like stressed me out. So
Mhm.
if you have an email situation that is stressing you out, spring clean that, find a tool, whether it's Maelstrom, SaneBox, Superhuman, anything that can help you organize and manage it. It may even be as simple as creating folders for your clients and like sticking those emails in the client folders and keeping up with it. It can really save you um, sanity, time. I think.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe, and I did a whole article on this like years
Mhm.
ago that like some people don't even get stressed out about email at all.
And
And it
my daughter
fascinated
got to
me.
where she would never even look at her email box anymore, and I think she just eventually just closed that one and then opened a new one. It's like, "Oh my gosh, really?" She never opened anything or looked at anything. I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
If you're interested, Toby and I did do we have a playlist that goes along with our book, and it's a bunch of videos in a playlist called Livecast Life. It's on our Messages and Methods YouTube channel, and if you look at, this one here, Gmail is a great tool, so learn to use it, and Toby goes through a lot of his, things that he does with Gmail in order to filter, to forward, and all of the things that you
Yeah.
can do just within Gmail without getting any additional tools. It's all, the Gmail thing is free, and it gives you some ideas on some things that you can do to help you keep your inbox under control. So we found that one of our first clients we had just didn't even understand Gmail, didn't understand forwarding, didn't understand how to find something.
Yeah,
We sent you an email. I can't find it. Okay, well, go to all mail. What's that? So we went through step by step in this video because the client that we had needed that. So we thought, well, there's probably other
there's a
people out
lot of
there who
people
also.
out there for
So
sure.
check that out if that's something that you need to understand a little bit better. And it's right there on our YouTube channel. So,
We'll
um,
put it in the show notes
yeah,
if we remember.
we'll try to remember.
I'll
Right?
try to remember. I'm the one who usually does the show notes, and now I look up and it's like we're 45 minutes in and I've done nothing. So, so
Okay.
good luck.
Yeah. Well,
Good
I
luck.
got a lot of it in the chat. So, I'll just,
Concussion Jen is in charge of the show notes. So. But it'll be okay. We'll help you. We
I'm
will
going
put
to
it in
add it
there.
right now.
So, so I think that we've covered a lot of the major areas. If you think that we have forgotten something, then please let us know what you would do to spring clean your business and help it shine. We're trying to hit the things that we've seen and that we can talk about. I would say that the first three were definitely in the marketing arena, and that is taking a look at your website, reviewing your business goals, and you're reviewing your business goals so that you can make some marketing adjustments. I would say probably the inbox stuff isn't so much a marketing thing. Only if you're not replying to people, that could possibly be bad marketing if you're not responding to emails. So take a look at your inbox, especially if it stresses you out. I think that these four areas will really help you heading into this next quarter, or I guess it started 7 days ago. And I really hope that those help you make your business shine. So we're rounding third. How funny is that I use a baseball analogy? Hope happy opening day again to everybody. It is also if you are stressed out by social media, this may also be a good time to check out the 7-day social media detox. We have a link to that in the show notes. It's a free 7-day journal that can help you process how you are interacting and engaging with social media. If social media is the thing that you need to spring clean in your business, this might be a good option for you. And it's absolutely free. And I believe that Shelly also has something
I just, once again,
to
I'm going to
share.
bring up the book, Livecast Life, and the content creator lifestyle. And this has got the system in there for you to do every week. You can do your live stream, your podcast, and your blog, and it's all very simplified in that way. So it's going to keep your life a little bit more organized when you have a system like that.
I just love it. I love it. I'm excited. I'm definitely grabbing that.
Yeah. And again, grab it on Sunday or Monday of this coming week, and it's going to be a free download for the Kindle, and you can then review it when you're done.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, tweaks of the week.
Tweaks of the week.
Tweaks of Oh, look at that. Music just makes me so happy. So, LinkedIn live stream event, add to calendar. What
So
is
let me
that
tell you
magic?
what happened. I saw when we scheduled this show on
Uh-huh.
your LinkedIn, I
Yeah.
went on my LinkedIn today and I saw it there as a post and it said attend. And I clicked that button and then it said add to your calendar. And I was like, ooh. And it sent me an
Really?
email that said, you are attending this event at this time. Do you want to add it to your calendar? So it asked me twice if I wanted to add it to my calendar.
Well,
And
I
I was just
mean,
like, "Whoa,"
that's phenomenal. That's
right? And
fantastic.
we didn't have to do anything extra other than schedule it.
That's a pretty royal we since you scheduled it, but I'll take
Well,
it.
yeah, but you gave me the information and then I just put it on StreamYard. So yeah, we do it as a team.
That's fabulous. I'm ta-da, look at us. Yay,
Right?
team. High five.
High five.
Um, so, it's lovely because they really seem to be embracing more of the creator thing, like
Mhm.
getting into what it is we have to do and helping people remember if they really want to engage and they're really learning something, then it's good for them to have a way that they can add it to their calendar. I
Yes.
love it. That's
Simple.
phenomenal. I didn't know that, so I'm gonna have to go take
I
a
just
look.
this is the first time I've seen it, so I think it's new.
Huh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it
Ooh,
is.
what is the Wisdom app?
Wisdom app. Okay, so I got an email from the people at Wisdom and they said, "We would like you to claim your podcast." And I was like, "I don't even know what this is about." Okay, let me check it out. So Wisdom app is an app that it kind of combines a place to find podcasts, a place to meet people who are also podcasters and possibly have them on your show, and it combines it with a Clubhouse type of an app, a social audio app. So you can just go on and promote yourself or just talk or show up, and then people will show up with you, and then you create, like a Clubhouse type room, or you can find people on there who might be guests on your podcast, and it's new, so it's still building. uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's very different, in that it seemed to me to combine all the things that people liked about Clubhouse, but without some of the things they didn't like. And you can record the
Really?
room that you're doing, and then you can use it on your podcast. So if you had a really good session on the app, then you can take that and put it on your podcast.
How
So,
interesting, because that sounds like Fireside
mm,
also.
mhm.
So that's fascinating. Yeah, I'll have to go look at that. Claim my podcast.
Yeah,
Ta-ta-da.
yeah.
And that sounds so that before we move into because is Vote Frenzy also podcast related?
A little bit.
A little bit?
It's a little
So,
bit
let
different.
me slip in my app that I
Yeah.
was gonna use last week that then we didn't have a show, and
Mhm.
it's called AIRR, AIRR,
Okay.
and I learned about it from a YouTuber who was talking about he has a concept called second brain, and he uses AIRR, AIRR, as a way to capture quotes that he really likes from podcasts. So what AIRR does is it it's a way for you to listen to podcasts. So it would be like instead of say, Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever. And then as you're listening, if you find something like a quote that's just like really great that you want to capture, you can actually like highlight it and it actually makes like audio clips of that. So I'm like looking at it through the podcaster lens and I'm like, oh, so could I make like audio clips to share? And yes, you can do that. But it's also if you want to share things either with your audience or you've found something enlightening and then you wanted to put that like in a blog post or something like that. And that's air. And that was a pretty interesting thing. It seems like if you are listening to big name podcasts, the transcripts are already there. If you're listening to indie podcasts, you need to generate the transcript, and it will help you like get through it. So that's air. And then you also had Vote Frenzy. What's that?
All right. So, I met one of the creators on LinkedIn of Vote Frenzy, and he told me all about it
Cool.
last week. So I checked into it a little bit, and it basically you can um, put out a poll, a quiz, kind of a game that you can use on your phone. So it
Yeah.
looks like a little app phone game thing. And then when you answer the question, like, what's your biggest obstacle in, as a digital marketer, and you can have like, 4 or 5 different choices, and then after you answer, it gives you what other people have answered. So percentage wise, 5% said this, 20% said that. So you know
Yeah.
what their answers were. And then you keep scrolling down and then you get a coupon for something. So it could be a coupon for uh, percentage off of merchandise that company
Cool.
puts out, or it could be, a freebie, or it could be any kind of a coupon that you decided on. So it is a way to gather audience and give them things that are of interest to them. So if you were to say, do you prefer a vegetarian pizza or meat pizza, or no pizza or whatever? And when they
Right.
answer vegetarian pizza, then you can give them a coupon for veggie pizza, so that they're telling you what they like. So then you can hone that coupon just for what they said
Huh.
that they wanted.
That's fun. I'll have
Yeah.
to check that out.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
Vote
Well, we're just what is it? Are we at what is the radio? Are we at the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour?
We're getting at the top of the hour here, I think.
Getting at the top of the hour here. So, what inspirational nugget do you have to share?
I have this here. Build and use your support system to grow closer to your family and friends. And the reason this came up is because my mom's in the hospital, and I've been getting a phone call from my brother almost every day. This is
Mhm.
the most I've talked to my brother on the phone in my entire life. And it's not that we don't like each other or anything else. It's just that we've never really been close. We have a lot of respect for each other. But it isn't something that we ever did, was just to call each other on the phone. But now we're calling each other, he's calling me on the phone, he's giving me updates. I'm supporting him because it's rough. He's got to be in there in the hospital and see her go through these things, and it's rough. So I can support him as he gives me that conversation about what happened today, and here's where she's at, and here's what's happening. Then I can tell him, you're
Yeah.
doing great. Hang in there. I really appreciate you, and we can support each other. So make sure that you do stay in contact and do have that support
Mhm.
system, so that when you do need it, it is there for you. And I have been very lucky to have a very strong support system. It's not
Yeah.
big, but it's deep, right? It's not shallow and wide, it's
Right.
narrow
Deep.
and deep. So I have those people that I know I can rely on, and they've told me again and again in the past month or so, I'm here if you need me, if you want to call me, let me know, whatever you need. So I think that sometimes when we don't need that support system, we forget that it's a good time to build one
Yeah.
up, maybe to reach out and make some new friends, and to
Yeah.
grow that community so that it's there when you need it.
Exactly. Or we forget that that people are there.
Or we don't reach out because we're like, "Well, I'm okay. I don't need
Okay, I don't
anything."
wanna bother anybody.
Right?
Yeah, I know that when my dad died about a year and a half ago, it was a real time of, like, you realize who is and isn't
Mm,
in your support system, and I would say that it's good to know before then.
yeah,
So, it's good to I totally agree with everything that you're saying, and, yeah. Hug the people you love, and make sure
that's
that
right.
they know.
Life is short. Take
Life is
advantage of
short.
those connections every time you can.
That's right.
Yeah. That's all I had. Oh, where was
Well,
my inspirational music here? That
the
was our
music.
inspiration for the week.
So, yeah, I just wanna send out a lot of love to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be back next week, and we'll be talking about marketing campaigns. I believe next week is marketing campaigns 101, kind of?
Nice.
Is that what we decided?
Yeah,
And,
I'm excited
that's
about
at least that's what I'm prepping. So, anyway, have a great week, everyone. If you
it.
have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll be talking to you next week.
Get that spring cleaning started, and we will see you next week. Thank you for joining the Women Conquer Business podcast, hosted by Shelley Carney and Jen McFarland. Please subscribe and leave a comment or question regarding your most challenging content creation or business problem. Then share this podcast with family and friends so they can find the support they need to expand their brand and share their message with the world. Check the show notes for links to valuable resources and come back again next week.